Hey, up here in the Jacksonville metro area of Northeast Florida, we're in a housing sales crash. That's right, home sales are in crash numbers, almost equivalent to 2008 to 2010. Hey, but is that improving or is it getting worse? That's what I'm going to show you because I'm going to look at those numbers in this show. And we're getting to all this right now. Hey, I'm Tom Kerr, and I'm your host of this show, Bubble Watch. That's right, that's where we look at the real numbers in real estate on this show. Hey, you know what? I'm just a regular guy who happens to be a real estate agent up here in Northeast Florida. And what I do is I share the back end of my MLS account. That's right, since I'm a realtor up here, I do have an MLS account and I share that back in with you every week. I've been doing it now for over a year. In fact, I'm in season 2, week 11 of my show Bubble Watch. And what I do is I take those numbers, I put them into an Excel spreadsheet, clean it up, put it into charts for you to look at. We also look at some other graphs to sort out what's going on in this market, because I want to show you what's really going on, not just what some of those scary YouTube videos have out there or some of those scary headlines. You know, we let you decide what to do, okay, by the real numbers. Hey, you know what? After watching this video, if you like this show, hey, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to be part of Bubble Watch Nation and subscribe and get notifications, then subscribe and hit the bell. We usually come out every Friday evening with this show. And also, if you're looking to buy and relocate here into Northeast Florida, or even selling to move out of Northeast Florida, and you would like to use me or a member of my group as your real estate agents to help you with this, then just give me a call at this number or shoot me an email at this email you see here. All right. Let's get to it. We're going to start off with, as always, the back end of the MLS, and we're going to look at all those active listings. All right, here we are back in the Northeast Florida MLS, and let's go to what is active. So we'll check the active box. We've got 5,978. Okay, next we look at the sold. And that number is 561. Next, we're going to go look at contingent taking backup. And that number is 827. And how many of those went pending in the last 7 days? That number is 685. Now these numbers of contingent taking backup and pending, those are all people that are under contract. So those are total under contract, both of them. It's just the contingent ones, they still have contingencies to clear, such as usually like home inspections, appraisals, and getting financed. Once they pass their contingencies, then they go on to pending status. All right, next let's take a look at how many people withdrew their listings. And this is all in the last 7 days. Withdrawn, we have 89. And how many homes expired? The expired listings are the ones that did not sell and they went off the market. All right, now let's go take a look at those new homes. And let's start off, we're going to see how many new homes sold in the last 7 days. That number is 137. And how many new homes are active? That number is 1,751. All right, now let's take a look at those that are in foreclosure status, pre-foreclosure, and short sales. All right, for foreclosed, we've got 19. In pre-foreclosure, we had 13. And short sales, we've got 16. Okay, I take those numbers and I put them into an Excel spreadsheet, which looks a little bit something like this. And then all I do is I clean it up and then put it into something that's a little neater for us to look at. So let's do that. And something I forgot to mention, usually I mention in the beginning, is this Jacksonville metro area consists of 9 counties pretty much. And those counties are Baker, Union, Bradford, Clay, Nassau, Duval, St. John's, Flagler, and Putnam. Okay, before we get to those charts and everything, let's see what those interest rates did this last week, because they've been on this upward trend. Okay, here we are at Mortgage News Daily, and we're looking at the 30-year fixed. And as we say, holy moly, it did go up. It went up above the 7. Okay, last week we were at 7, and it went down a little bit, played going up, and now it closed out here at 7.12. All right, let's see what the VA did, because the VA rates are generally less than that. Okay, your VAs also have gone up. We're at 6.59 last week, and now we're at 6.82. So they're not at 7 yet, but they're getting close. Now let's look at the FHA, because those rates are generally less too. Okay, your FHA rates here, 6.6 last week, and we're at 6.8. So again, you know, that upward trend is continuing. All right, now I look at those graphs that show us the price per square foot, the inventory, median price, and days on the market. And this gives us an idea, because we do this week by week, to see if we see that trend or if we can catch this bubble, you know, and burst. All right, here we are with the price per square foot, and uh-oh, what is going on here? It's the wrong direction from what we were told, right? I mean, we saw where it just like leveled off here, it plateaued for a while, for a few weeks, went up and stayed level for a while, up again for twice, and then boom, we're back up again. All right, let's look back on this now. When you look at 1 year back, you look at that, how it was sliding down, you know, but it took steps. See at the bottom there where it just flattened out for a while. Everyone thought, okay, that was it. We bottomed out. We've got time to buy at these lower prices. Well, uh-oh, now we're going up. All right, and then of course when we look at that, you know, longer chart, you see how we really haven't, you know, I mean, come anywhere near to going down as fast as we went up. All right, let's look next door at the for sale inventory. And as we can see, we get that little hook at the bottom where it's going back up. And we spread this out a little bit more, and we can see there that we've got, you know, that hook just turning up. Now it didn't fall all the way down. So inventory is at historic lows, but they have been lower, okay? And the good news is we're seeing some inventory coming up, and so that's going to give buyers a little more choice on the market here, at least the ones that are out there shopping with these rates right now. All right, let's look at that median price. Okay, the median price, again, we see that climbing back up. All right, I mean, it was way down there for a while. You saw it made that hump, and now it's like, it's just, you know, I mean, it's going back up, and so this is something we've got to keep an eye on here. All right, let's look at those days on the market. As we look at that chart there, we see where that now the days kind of flattened out. We were going down, 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 and now it kind of flattened out a little bit. Now, this should go along when we look at that chart to see the, you know, like the prices above list. Because prices above list, the more we get of those, that's what drives the market up, because you got multiple offers, and that's what drives the days on the market down. Everyone said we were going to crash. The bubble was going to burst. We were going to be in a housing crash. Well, what we did was we came into a housing sales crash and inventory crash over what we had. Our numbers, as I showed a few bubble watches ago, are pretty much close to the 2008, 2010. Now, these are monthly numbers, so once we get out of July and get into the August numbers, then I'll revisit those charts again to see where we're at. Okay, so, but what didn't happen that we were told was going to happen is a crash with prices, and which leads us to this. All right, this headline, disappointed buyers ask, where's the housing crash? Okay, someday a buyer's market will return, but it's not today and it won't be tomorrow. Bidding wars have returned, and some metros are still seeing rising prices. And that is a true headline right now. You know, I mean, the people ask, is the housing market going to crash? And the last time the U.S. housing market looked so frothy was back in 2005 to 2007, and then the home values crashed with disastrous consequences. And that's what people were looking for to happen by now. Okay, the end of last year, a lot of people are saying that because we really saw a dip. Man, things really slowed down and those prices went down quite a bit. Okay, but it just didn't happen. All right, let's look at those. Let's look at the charts from all those numbers we got, and let's compare with the previous weeks and see where we're at. Okay, here's our main chart. We are in season 2, week 11, and right there on the yellow bar. And if you look at the other yellows previous to this, you'll see that you can compare those weeks. Then directly next to it is a year ago at this time, and then that Y0Y or YOY is the year over year and shows you the percentage of change from a year ago. And these numbers are all taken from my chart, which goes all the way back when I started this back. There we go on week 1 and season 1. So I just take those numbers, plug them in here. Okay, now we're looking at active 5978. We see that has increased. That's your inventory right now, and so it has been going up from the previous weeks. Okay, and then of course you can look at, I'm not going to name everything from week 11 and the year over year, but you can see there and the percentages. Okay, now we've got sold 561. Here we go again, huh? Solds are up, huh? Interest rates are up, prices are up, solds are up. Not supposed to be happening, but it is. All right, contingent taking back up. Those are under contract. 827, so that's down from the last couple weeks there. Look at pending. Those that went pending in the last 7 days, 685. That number's down a little bit, close to what it was in week 9 there. All right, total under contract, 1512, so we see that number's down a little bit. Those are under contract right now, which will end up leading to your sales in the future here for the next few weeks. Okay, withdrawn, 89 people withdrew, which was the exact same amount a year ago. Okay, expired, 129 people's homes did not sell, and so the listing expired. New homes sold, 137. Oh, there we go. All right, new homes sold. It's going to be interesting. We'll look at the chart to see where I show you how many, the percentage of homes that sold below list, at list, and above list, and see if we have an increase in below list, maybe that spurred these numbers. All right, how many new homes are active? Okay, the actives are 1751, so that's up. So the inventory for new homes is up. Okay, now let's look at how those people paid for these houses. All right, here we are. We've got cash, conventional, FHA, VA, and other. And here we are, season 2, week 11, 26% cash. That is down from the last few weeks. Conventional mortgage jumped up to 42%, although it was there in week 9. Okay, FHA 13% and VA 17%, so those actually stayed the same, and others was 2%. So still a quarter of all sales out there are cash, which is pretty strong. All right, now let's look at the chart where we see houses that sold for 500 and above and the percentage that went under list, at list, and above list. We can see 27% of the homes sold were $500,000 and up. That is down from the last couple of weeks. We look at homes that sold under list, 65%. So that's about staying pretty close to what it's been. Homes that sold at list is down 14%. Well, it's not down 14%, it's down to 14%. Okay, it was 17 and then 20 in previous weeks. Okay, now homes that sold above list, that jumped again this week. Okay, we saw it go down. It was 2 weeks at 16, jumped back up to 21, and that is what brings or keeps those days on the market low. Also drives up prices. All right, let's look at the new homes. Okay, new constructions that sold under list, 57%. It did increase a little bit. Homes that sold at list, it went down, and homes that sold above list went up. Okay, so I mean, we've had pretty strong numbers there for the home sales this last week. I don't know where it's coming from, or if it's just that people are realizing that they don't have the inventory of the resale homes that they wanted, or can't find what they want, so they're gravitating towards new homes just because of the lower inventory. That does help new home sales. All right, let's look at those foreclosure numbers. Now what these are homes that are statused as foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, short sale, that are in active listings. Okay, so here we are, week 11, 19 that are status foreclosures, same, 13 pre-foreclosures, that's up, short sales is up to 16, for a total of 48. And if you were to make a scary headline, okay, you could say that foreclosures jumped 20% from last week, okay? But if you look at how many, okay, of this, again, these are the homes that are for sale under this status, how many compared to the total number of homes for sale, it's still less than 1%. All right, now what I do is I look at that MLS Advantage, okay? That is where we look at all the counties. What we're looking at here, what I've been doing since day one, is Northeast Florida MLS, which is the largest MLS, but there are some other smaller MLS boards around the Jacksonville area, and we cross-sell, and those don't get picked up in the Northeast Florida, so there are some more numbers, so the actual sales is actually even greater than this usually. Okay, greater. All right, so I go into the MLS Advantage. Let's take a look and see how many sales. And because people wanted it, I break it down. I'll break it down for you in a chart by counties around here, so you can compare with last week's counties and see the sales there. Okay, let's look and see what that number was for MLS Advantage. Okay, as you can see, I have the 9 counties in here. Now remember, we were at 561 sales in Northeast Florida MLS. So let's go over here. We've got all the counties in place, and let's hit the search button and see what we are in MLS Advantage for the whole area. Wow, 794, huh? I mean, that's almost 800. I mean, oh, I mean, we're supposed to be dying right now, but things are picking up. I mean, what do you do, if you're a buyer right now, Do you wait it out for rates to go down, but then you're priced out of the market? Or do you buy now while the price is, okay, it's still high, but at least you might be able to get something and then refinance later, because the rates would go down. And so we'll see. All right, let's look at the chart that I break it down by counties. All right, here we are by the counties. Okay, week 11, and you can compare with the previous weeks. You see there Baker County 5 this week. Union had 1, Bradford had 6, Clay County had 67, Nassau 75, Duval County 274, St. John's 231, Flagler 109, Putnam 26. So that was a pretty large jump for them, for our total of 794. So pretty much everybody did go up something, except Baker stayed the same. All right, all these charts that I just showed you there in the Excel spreadsheet, where I go all the way back to, week 1, so over a year ago. I have that available for you and a lot more. If you subscribe to my weekly newsletter, all you have to do is just send an email here to this email address you see here. Tell me you want to be put on the newsletter, or you could text at this phone number here and just give me the email address and you'll be put on the list. There you can download my Excel spreadsheet that I use here and get the full thing, so that you can sit there and look it out and compare all the numbers. Plus it also has the MLS sheet for the houses of the week and a few more things. So it has quite a bit. So if you want to subscribe to that, go ahead. All right, now we go to before we do the houses of the week, we got one where we show below lists that sold below list and sold above, and we do the question of the week. And if you're not from Florida, you may want to listen to this question of the week, okay? Even a lot of people in Florida don't know about it, okay? If they haven't bought a house in a while or a first-time home buyer. Someone asked me, hey, what's this CDD thing I keep seeing about? When I go to buy a house, it says CDD fees. What's that? Is that an HOA? No, it's not. HOAs are separate. You can also have in the same development an HOA fee and a CDD fee. Okay, most of you are familiar with HOAs. A CDD is a community development district, and it's pretty much, I think, just Florida. There might be some other states that have it. If you've got one, just put it in the comments below what state you're in that has a CDD fees. I don't know of them right now. Of course, I just sell in Florida, but what it is it was developed by the Florida legislature, and it's like a government entity within there. It starts off with the developer, but then after so many years, I don't know if it's like 6 years or what, then it turns into where it's elected officials that operate this CDD. And what they do is, it was developed so that people in these new developments where they're building all these new homes, because we got so much new construction is going on, is that instead of the rest of the taxpayers in the county paying for the burden of all the infrastructure of all these new developments, the people that are living there that are benefiting from them, then they should pay for those. And so what they do, they put this on your property tax bill. So like an HOA doesn't go on your property taxes, this does. Okay, so when you're figuring out your cost, monthly cost, and the banks figure that out if you're financing, that has to figure into it, because it actually increases what the tax bill is. It's added on there, you'll see it. But just like on your tax bill, you can have for garbage and stuff and other assessments or things for sewers, stuff like that, or fire, and things like that. I think it's a lot of cities do this to get around raising the tax millage, so they'll put these assessments on there. So what does it go away? No, it doesn't. What goes away is the bond. The developers buy a bond to pay for all this, because they don't have the money to put all that in. So what happens is, when that bond's paid off, it could be a 15-year, 20-year, 25, 30 years, whatever. When that's paid off, then that part of the CDD goes away, and the only part you got is the maintenance part. And in fact, right here, here's a site. And this here is actually from a site, Florida for Boomers, and it tells you about Florida CDD fees, what you need to know. Pretty much what I just told you about what it is. And then down here, what's included in it. Now, not every CDD has all these, but this gives you a lot of ideas. So this thing here for CDDs, this link here and all this will be added to this weekly newsletter. So if you subscribe to that, I'll have a link right there for that. All right, now it's time for the houses of the week, and we're going to start off with that house that sold below list. Okay, this house here listed for $383,000, on the market 292 days. This house actually went on the market in June of last year, and remember, that was that critical time there around the May and June when things were shooting up like crazy. So this house here, and this was one of those investment companies, okay, that bought this, to turn around and resell them to make a little bit of a profit. Well, they banked on that still going up, but everything turned the last quarter of last year, and they got stuck. They kept pricing it down till they got to $325,000, and then they ended up selling it for $305,000. Holy crap, $78,000 below the listing price. So this is one of those houses that really went down. And they also gave $1,650 in concessions. They didn't specify what, so that could go towards closing cost or prepay, something like that. But it helped the people out, so they had a little bit less cash coming up there, but they really dropped. When they dropped $78,000, that was quite a bit. All right, let's see what they paid for it when they bought it. Okay, as you can see here, they bought it in June 1st, okay? Even though the listing didn't go up until the 27th, they had it almost a month. I guess, just fixing things up, cleaning. Usually they repaint things, fix some minor things. So they bought it for $327,400, and then they sold it for $405,000, gave $1,650 in concessions. And you can see here, we'll look step one down here, that the people they had bought it from, they had the house brand new, they bought it for $150,000. Okay, so with this much of a loss and all that, there's definitely no appreciation calculator run on this one. All right, let's look at the house that sold above list. Okay, this house here listed for $302,990. This was actually a new home. Okay, it was actually a D.R. Horton home on the market for 99 days. Okay, so that could be, you know, on the market for over 3 months. I mean, while it was being built, so no telling when they, at what part of while it was built that they put it up. Okay, they ended up increasing the price of the house to $324,990. Okay, so they raised the price of the house. It didn't go down, they raised it to that, and that's what it ended up selling for. Now, of course, being a new construction, you know, there's not what they bought it for, because they're, you know, they bought several lots, they built on it. We would have just seen the price of a lot, maybe what they paid for the lot, and then built on it to get that. But it showed this was one of those new constructions that went up in price, so sold above list, and quite a bit above list too. And I'll tell you something else about it. It went FHA. So that meant too that it appraised, okay, for this increased price. So see, that's something we got to watch. These appraisals, these homes that are going up in price are appraising, okay? So, you know, that's not going to be helping, you know, anything soon. Hey, you know what? This is week 11 and it's in the can. Next week's week 12. Until then, I'm out of here.